Well, so pleased that worked. Hello everybody and welcome to this fairly different stream. Hopefully the sound is going to be fairly balanced between the game and my narration, but if not I can always go and change it later. It's currently set to 20% in the game settings, and also the speed of the game, the in-game speed, is going to be times 16, which you actually can't change when you're in the game. You have to go back to main menu in FS11. So yeah, this is Pro Farm 1 with Farming Simulator 2011, excluding the DLCs. So, the Riverside map is an add-on to Farming Simulator 2019. The map itself represents a river valley in England. The excellent plots by the river are perfectly suited for arable lands as well as grasslands. The harvest has already started. Half the year's barley production was threshed already. Don't spend too much time waiting to start harvesting. If you still want to get a good price for your production, never forget the second best still hasn't won today. And finally, the New Holland tractors are great in this environment, which doesn't suit machines so well. Engines with a lot of power. Who wouldn't love that here? So yeah, let's get straight into it. Hopefully it all works, like I say. This is by Halycon Media, and unfortunately I don't think you can actually buy this anymore. This was actually something you had to pay for, but for the time this was just incredible. So really what I'm trying to do here is just remember the past, because this obviously is all in the past now. I don't think anybody would be playing this anymore, but I am, so it's good to show it off and just sort of remember the hard work that was put in by different modders. So if we just tab through these machines, you can see we have here the New Holland TG285. Now this is going to be the perfect test for the in-game sound. Hopefully you're going to be able to still hear me over this, but we will see. Now also, you might not believe this, but at this time, when FS11 was out, every time you saved the game, left the game and then rejoined, if you had an implement attached to the tractor, it would actually be detached again when you came back, so you always had to reattach it. There was a mod, I think, to sort this, but yep, that was an issue at the time. So this is part of Pro Farm. All this stuff here is part of Pro Farm, as you can see, the New Holland TX65. And if we go into the mod section in the farming shop, you can see here we have some legal stuff, Pro Farm, got some New Holland tractors. If I just purchase that one, take a look at it in a minute or two. Of course, if we do have some technical problems, because it is, you know, a fairly old game now, we'll just have to reboot, but hopefully everything is fine. By the sound of it, the game sound is too quiet. Like I say, I can turn it up, but when I close, it might crash it. So that is my only concern here. But there is the TX65, and there is the very small New Holland T4050. These model numbers have changed now, haven't they? It's all like T4, T6 and stuff. Or is that T4? T4, yeah, T450, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, let's first of all go on a bit of a map tour. It's just going to be a very brief one. I don't have the steering wheel and pedals set up for the game. I did enable it, but I remember from all those years back I always had the issue of it trying to drive in reverse. You could sort that issue, but it took me a bit of time to do. But compared to the base game, the base map, this is incredible. This really is good graphics and a very detailed map. So yeah, I think Halycon Media should be very proud of themselves for this. I think it actually went off sale in 2014, unless you can still buy it from somewhere, not too sure. But I was on my SimMarkers account where I bought this from in 2011, I think it was, and I found the key for it, so I have downloaded it and doing a quick stream just to basically remember the past and show those who haven't ever seen this game before, and basically just demonstrate what it's like. So this was back in the time when the milk tanker came to your farm. We were also a milk tanker driving around every now and then. Brandon, thank you for your super chat. We will do some farming as well. I just want to really quickly show you the bridge, because the bridge was sort of the highlight, I think. It was, well, it was the most memorable part of the game. It would also be nice to go back over to the default map as well and just show that off. Right, I think it's now time to read the chat as well. Anybody else having bad quality? No, it's not the game. Well, mine's outputting at a good rate here, so it should be fine. So it's most likely at your end. Daggerwin, if you want to be realistic in FS19, get the manual attach mod. Yeah, I have considered it. This stream is going to be more about FS11 though. We're going to be focusing on FS11. Yep, I read the chat. Good evening to everybody who's saying good evening. And also we did start off with some other stuff. Of course, the main machine of FS11 was the Deutzfahr brand, as you can see just here. These were the machines we started off with. There's also a Krone and the Agro Plus 77. So yeah, I think it's such it really is good. FS11 is still good. Whereas if you go back to something like 08, yeah, that's not so good. But hopefully you're so far enjoying the difference. Yes, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is not including the Vintage Tractor DLC and the 3 other expansions. William, Daggerwin, what is the plan with Felsborough Logistics? Also, you should get a pickup truck on Letton Farm. Felsborough Logistics, I'm hoping to continue every now and then. And yes, I do want to get a pickup truck or something similar, maybe a car on Letton Farm, as soon as we can afford it. But it's going to be some time. Anyway, yeah, this is just another farm. The other thing you might notice is when you go over a bump or crash into something, it actually moves the player camera as well. If you see here. I'll try and crash a bit better. You see it's actually moving the camera, it's tilting the camera. Whereas in 19 it's just the machine that moves. This is the crop texture, which is pretty good. This is the heads-up display, which you can zoom in and out of by pressing 9. You open it by pressing I. For information, we have a weather forecast, which I think is really nice. I do like the PDA. I think it's very nice to have. This was the price page, so you can see the wheat, barley, canola and corn, the 4 different crop types. Yep, this is before sugar beet and potatoes. We have our storage and information there. The money, which we have £824,000. A few very interesting statistics. The bottles, which you can pick up and put in a bottle bank. And reputation, of course, by doing a few odd jobs. So, let's just... well, I want to use this, really. We do have a header trailer. We should probably look into buying the header trailer just here. That should have spawned fairly nearby. Again, I don't know what the sound is like. Looking at my output, it's not too bad, so hopefully you can hear it at least. But yeah, I don't really want to put it up because it means leaving the game, and we'll probably never return. No, that's just me joking. Yeah, we will return, but it might crash it, potentially. So we'll put it onto here, and we'll try and find this field which has been mentioned in the description at the start. Some fields have already been harvested, and they're ready to be baled, but we do still have a couple to do some work in. If I can find them. I was actually interested to see if there was console, and there actually is. The console where you can, or I should probably call it development console. Yeah, you can fly. I never flew. When FS11 was out, I never knew about the development console, so I never flew over the map, but yep, you can see here. We have trains, and the train, I think, does move. Pretty sure it does do. Here it is. Yes, let's fly out of the sky quickly. This is going to be good. It's actually a very detailed model as well. Kind of like Train Simulator. There it is. Very old-fashioned trucks. Carriages, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of like a model railway. It's nice. So... yeah, we can see from up here that we've got some harvested fields. They're harvested. Let's try and find one which isn't harvested. I think there's one over there. So if we go from the store, just straight to the end of there, that should be a good way of doing things. We should also, hopefully, be able to attach the trailer with this. I think we could do back in FS11. Yeah, so I really do hope that you enjoy this and find it nostalgic. I always find stuff like this nostalgic, that's why I do it. because if it wasn't for nostalgia, I probably wouldn't ever return to the older games, because it's just so nice to see them. Did we have cruise control? I think we did. Yeah, we've got cruise control. It might have been flat out. Oh, yeah, it was back in the time when the headers didn't stay on. Of course, yes. There was no locking script as such. There was actually a mod, or some mods had the locking script in them, but not as default, I don't think. Louise, thank you so much for that. Hello to you as well. Yeah, as always, any super chats I will appreciate, of course. Yes, I need to drive very carefully, but luckily we're not going too far with this, so you don't have to see me putting it on about 100 times in the space of 5 minutes. We did have beacons as well. I know that when a new game is released, a new farming simulator is released, everybody seems to look at the beacons to see what the texture is like, or the... what would it be called? I don't know. Just the lighting for it. My header! No! So close. So close. We have a new member. Welcome, Mark. Yeah, so that's what the flashing light was like in 11. I know there were some issues with... I think it was 09. If you had too many lights switched on at the same time, it would make like a weird white texture on the ground. I'm not saying we're not going to lose the header, but hopefully we're not going to. I really hope we're not going to. Yeah, the cruise control, it's 3 speeds apparently, according to Difty. 1, 2 and 3 preset amounts, that's interesting. The funny thing is, at the time, when FS11 was the newest game, I knew everything about it. There was nothing really about the gameplay that I didn't know. And then because the new ones are out... Actually, can you lock that on? No, you can't. I've just attached it. Yeah, because it's now not the latest game. You sort of forget. I was just thinking, maybe you can. Attach cutter. X. There you go. There is a locking script. Nice. So that's me just remembering. Yes, that is something that was done very well in Pro Farm. It's all a bit of a memory game as well. Aidan, hey from Melbourne, Australia. Love your videos. Hello, Aidan, and also we've got some other viewers as well. Hello from Minnesota. Right, detach and drop that off. Yes, you have to press X to lock it on, and then just attach it by pressing Q. MJ Modding, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. I have my beacon on. It's a very important beacon. Yeah, as I was saying, you can't just change the time in the game. So, you know, like times 5, times 16, all that sort of stuff. It's just set from main menu. It has defaulted to times 16. You can put it to real time and faster. Times 60, I think, might be the fastest. But I've decided just to keep it at default. The problem is, it would just be too fast and would most likely be... Okay, so pressing B, it puts the auger out, so you have to press J to enable the combine's header. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I love how you don't always appreciate what's changed until you go back. Oh yeah, and it was back in the time as well where it just stopped harvesting if you went too fast. You have to press 2 or 1. You can press 1 as well. This is interesting. Front working lights, press numpad 5. There we go. And then press F for the standard ones. They're quite bright. They're very bright. Yeah, so if you want to see some more nostalgic videos of maybe 09, 08, 13, 15, more of 11, please do hit the like button, the thumbs up I should say, so I know how interested everybody is. Now, we're not going to harvest the whole field, but I'm trying to demonstrate the different machines which are included in 11 and Pro Farm. This is a barley crop. I actually really like the texture which has been chosen for the straw. It looks really good. I also noticed as well, when you do GS set field of view and then put your figure, that no lock, well, it doesn't exist at this stage. It does not exist. So you can't do your field of view setting. I think that might have only just come in actually in 15. Maybe 17. if I'm not mistaken. Right, so what we need to do is get a tractor and trailer. I think we'll use this tractor because it's a really nice tractor. We do have a front weight. Drop off the Badestad. And we do have the Flegels, but I just don't know if we can actually get the auger over the top. Hopefully we can do. Yeah, that's actually a pretty big trailer. Let's see what the smallest one is like. Okay, physically the height is the same, it's just the length I think, which is different. So yeah, if we can go for maybe something a little bit different again. We could just go for the standard trailers. It might be able to reach over, possibly. Hard to tell. I think we'll go for the medium tipper. Again though, that is actually really tall. Okay, let's just go back to plan A, which was to use this one here. If it is too tall, I'll go for the much smaller tipper. And we'll head out to the field. Difty says, I don't think that the augers had collisions back then. That's interesting. We might have to try and crash into a tree. What make is the Combine? It is a New Holland. I noticed actually many viewers recognise this as the New Holland DLC over the Pro Farm DLC, which is interesting because I don't know if it was actually known as the New Holland DLC at the time. I always remembered it as Pro Farm, but there you go. There shouldn't be any crop destruction either, let's just see. Yeah, no crop destruction. That was even a mod for just FS 15 and 17. Okay, the vehicles rock about a bit. So if there are no collisions anyway, it wouldn't have mattered. But luckily there is plenty of clearance. In fact, this is a much larger Combine than I was expecting. Much larger. But that's going really well. You can see the view distance isn't great. But there are different options that you can change to work around it. It's like powder coming out of the Combine's auger. And that is a fairly slow load rate. To be expected though. Right. Let's back up. You have already revisited FS11. I have indeed, yeah, that was the 40,000 subscriber special. But you can always revisit it again, and this is different anyway, so... clickbait title, I didn't think you'd sink that low, Daggerwin. If you don't like it, I mean, you don't have to be here, so... It's not really a clickbait title anyway. I truly want to show off how it's changed, so... Yep, quite happy with the title. Anyway, that's busy, that's very happy. Let's take a look at some other stuff. I think what we should do... Look at that. This one to me was like a really ugly tractor, but looking back, I think it's quite nice. Weirdly. At the time I really hated it. Can you put the sub count on the screen? That's weird. It was on the screen before, it must have disappeared. You see, that's what happens when I do a different game, so... Yep, to be expected. It's definitely a bit more jerky as well, the way that you turn, it's not quite as smooth. Having said that, I'm not using a keyboard. I mean, I am using a keyboard, I'm not using a steering wheel, so that could be the issue. Shoot Luck Gaming says, I hate how they slowly started to remove Deutschfahr in the later games. Yeah, I think, is it just down to one? Do they have just one as default? I think they might do. This actually looks quite nice though. I really do like the swath that we have here. I'm also floating. If I'd known about the flying when it was out, I might have made videos then. Cinematic videos. Oh, it's stuck on a tree. Look at this. The intelligent workers haven't come in yet, so that is the issue. It's quite amusing though. It's quite funny to see. Of course, yes, B is for auger. It's all different back then. and 2, of course, yes. So used to in 19, if you just put your foot right to the floor, you'll put it to the maximum speed. Should probably put the order in. So, yeah, I also want to demonstrate some other stuff as well, and hopefully go back over to the default map, show that off. But I think it's a good opportunity to show off the baling as well. So if we just take this tractor here, we'll grab a baler and we'll see what it looks like. I am genuinely impressed though. Wow. It's incredibly easy to get air, it would appear. Very, very easy to get air. Just hit the curb and you're in the air. Crash into a car. That's interesting. Was this before they made the collisions on a car solid? It might have been. If it was, we can push it for miles. Yep, there you go. You can move the cars around, which I think is better. Harry, hi, I love your videos. Keep it up. I love Letton. Thank you so much, Harry. Appreciate it so much. Very nice to hear that you're enjoying Letton. There's another Letton tomorrow, so for anybody who is a fan of that, stay tuned for that. It should be out tomorrow morning at some point. And of course, if you're watching in the UK, because I think if you're in Australia, it's morning now, which means it'd be late evening. Yeah, so let's get a baler. I really want to see a bit of baling. Let's take a look. Hello, Ashley and Adam. Right, the collisions were made solid so they can get age 0 restriction in Germany. It will stay. Wow, I didn't know that. That's really interesting, actually. I suppose. Oh, I guess, yeah. If you, for the young players, it would appear quite. Well, I don't know. It depends how you look at it. It could be quite graphic, I suppose you could say, if you had an imagination of what would be going on inside the car. Not too sure, but yeah, I can understand it. Now you say it. Bit of a shame, but it was better before. So did it not have? Was it not rated 3? 3 plus? I'm sure it was. Was it 7 plus? And now it's 3 plus. I'm not too sure. Or is it 0? As you mentioned. The time is 7:55 in Australia, according to K700 Kyrovets. Right, so how do we engage this thing? Because it's all different. We have to. Oh, you can open the rear window. How interesting. Press keypad 5. Hang on. I didn't see it open. Mark, hi Daggerwin, can you say hi to Rhiannon, please? There you go. Hello, Rhiannon. And thank you, Mark. Open and close door. It's key. Ah, it's key 6, not numpad. There we go. There we go. It's 23:55 here in the Netherlands, according to Remco. That's good. That's very good. Right, turn on baler is B, so that is the use key. Lincoln Boone, love your videos, Daggerwin. Thank you so much, Lincoln Boone. Greatly appreciated. Oh, we've got the restriction on here as well. This must be so frustrating for people to watch if you are new to, or if you're not new to it. And you can see it sets an RPM as well. Harry, read. It's late for me. I can imagine it is actually. Yeah, it's fairly late for me too. Yeah, so it adds another bar in there for the engine RPM, which it's set to. How do we unload? You press X. Of course, in 19, that would be Y. This is actually satisfyingly fun. I mustn't enjoy it too much, though, because I might start doing Survivor roleplay on here, which would probably go down very badly. But I don't know, for some reason, it might be because it is Pro Farm, which was already a good mod, or payware. It is good. I really enjoy this. Full again. And they're not bad bales, actually. They're actually fairly realistic. In fact, very similar to the ones we get now. Maybe just lower quality texture. Right, let's continue. 100 RPM. 820. I think, yes, it's probably disengaged. It's interesting. There we go, that's it. ECML Transport, hello. A different kind of stream, great content, Daggerwin, loving your new series. Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely different, this. I always wanted to do this, and I just couldn't believe it when I went onto my Sim Market account and found it. I actually found the key code and the download link for ProFarm and 11. I was very pleased. I would have done 11 anyway, but it would have meant paying another £7.50 on Steam, which isn't too much, but it's a very old game now. For a game which I already have. Naz, hi, keep it up mate, great work, very entertaining. Thank you Naz, pleased to hear that you're enjoying it. Daggerwin, did you watch the Grand National? I did, yes I did. I did not put a bet on though. So I can thankfully say, I haven't lost anything. I did have an idea, well, I say an idea. I picked a number at random, that's the way I do it. Forget how good the horse is, just pick a number. Spark Cycle, good to have you back Spark Cycle. Hi Daggerwin, have you considered making a survivor roleplay on Mistlingen? No I haven't actually, I have not considered it. The reason why is because I've already started it as a normal play, a normal let's play, so I think my viewers would now get a little bit confused. Not saying my viewers are silly or anything, it's just the way I've done it already would make it very confusing. It would confuse me as well if I suddenly changed to change Mistlingen from a standard let's play to survival roleplay, so I can't really do that. Look at that, look at the collision. I'm touching the trailer but I'm way off. It's before that was perfected. But yeah, thank you Spark Cycle. Let's set the RPM to 1190. You might be interested in the interior view. It's actually pretty good. It's nothing like the base game tractors. I can remember at the time, I was so desperate for this to come out. For ProFarm to come out. Do we have an interior light? I don't think so. We do have the rear work light though. Front and rear. Oh, and if you go outside of cab, it puts like a beam of... You can see the dust in the lighting. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in a stream, but there's like a layer of dust. We're full. Again. We're always full. How are the ploughing textures in FS11? We'll have to take a look. I'm not going to do much ploughing, but I will definitely show everybody. Again, they might have been changed for ProFarm. They might not be the default. I will definitely recognise the default though, because I have seen it quite a bit. When will your next restoration be? Bit of an issue. I've been waiting for some parts and they haven't arrived. My initial plan was to have the video out this weekend, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. When I start to do the restorations full time, I will hopefully have a video out every 3 weeks. It doesn't sound very often, but they take a long time to do. Because I'm not going to rush them and try and get a video out every week or something. Because if I do that, the restoration's either going to be tiny or it's just going to be terrible by the end of it. So no rushing, decent restorations, maybe one a month, and it should be really satisfying for me and for the viewer. And really, I just can't wait to do it. Looks like I've caused some problems with the traffic here. I wonder what happens if I push a bale in front of them. Here you go, traffic. Little present for you. This could be fun. Now, will it stop, or will the bale go flying? I think it will stop. I think it's going to wait. You lunatic! You've crashed into it and then crashed into the oncoming traffic. You terrible drivers. Look at my bale. It's on its side. This is great. You've stopped too. Okay, we'll stop the worker. It is full. What we're going to do then is grab a plough. It has been requested. Of course, if you want to request something, please do feel free to. Do we have any other tractors in the mods? It added 2 tractors then, I think, and 3... Oh no, 2 combine harvesters. Let's take a look at the New Holland CX880. This could be quite interesting. Yes, this is Pro Farm as well. CX880. And Keaton says the car models were so much better then. Yeah, there's something about the traffic which does seem to be better back then. I don't think everything has improved. Obviously a lot has. A lot has improved. But not everything. Of course, you also had cows as well. Farming Simulator 11 was the very first farming simulator with animals. When I say animals, I do mean just cows. If you wanted cows, then it's great. If you wanted anything else, forget it. It's cows only. Yes, so we were going to get the tractor, weren't we? Let's try and find a tractor which is suitable. I think we'll just use this tractor again. It's a decent tractor. I like it. Do you like horse racing? Not particularly, no. Jordan says the traffic back then seemed a bit more realistic. I agree. I think it's probably because you could push them around and they could crash. Whereas now they are absolutely solid. And if they hit something, whatever they hit goes flying, and yes, they stay exactly where they were. How do you make your thumbnails? I do it in Affinity Designer. I have changed from Serif. Although it's actually the same thing, I think. Just a different name. Right, look at this plough. Where did my front weight go? Anyway, it doesn't matter. What we need to do is... I don't think there is a road mode for it. Transport mode. Ooh, we have a field here. Again, it's the time when we owned every field. There was no purchasing of fields or selling fields. You just own everything. And the texture only went one way as well. That is the wrong way. Let's try this again. Yeah, so I don't think that is the Farming Simulator 11 default texture. Fairly sure that it isn't. So that must be the Pro Farm one. We have to do this at key speed 1. And I think this was probably still at the time when if you went too fast with the plough would actually come off. It would just disconnect itself. It's like FS09 but much better. If that makes any sense at all. And I think you could also plough outside the boundaries. Right, let's go really fast. Just to see if it does come off. It should just disconnect itself. There we go. That's how they tackled that problem. To stop the players from going too fast with the plough. Whereas now they actually limit it. Which is far better. Try to stop the train. I don't know. I don't think you'd be able to stop it. I mean, I'm interested to know if there is a collision on it. It might send you flying if you park in front of it. It did do in FS15 on Baldacchino. Right. So I think that is the plough demonstrated. Looks way more realistic if you do it in, well, with the cruise control on. I wonder how many of the original Farming Simulator players from FS11 still have this DLC. Because I didn't think I had it until about an hour ago. 2 hours ago. I am now interested. Look, you can see, you can actually plough the road. Yes, I'm very interested to see if you can put this in front of a train. Look at that. You couldn't just select create fields, it was just if you accidentally put the plough down, you've basically messed it up. So that's another improvement. Oh, what is going on over here? The traffic has mounted my bale. Look at this. Oh, how did you do that? That's quite an achievement. Ugh. Look at the face. And for some reason the car is filled with concrete up to his chest. How interesting. Well, that's fun. Now where's the train? Where is the train from here? I like that. I like the hillside farming over there. That's very good. The train is... We've got a river as well. It's actually a very big map. It's very detailed. Yes, it's over there. There's the train line. So we could play the waiting game. The train's currently over there. We could play the waiting game and put something on the line, which would probably seem ridiculous, but it's just tempting just to see exactly what happens in the game. If it was when they had no collision. So, do you want to see it? Do you want to see it, this being put on the train line? We'll find out. The chat's got like a 30-second delay on it, so it takes a bit of time. It might not even be possible, actually. What about forestry? Didn't exist. Farming Simulator 15 was the first one with forestry. Hard to believe, but it was. Even 13 had no forestry. Well, I'm on the line. I'm not fully on the line, but it's good enough. The train is going to pass very, very close to that. The problem is, though, where's the train? Let's just fly up into the air. It can't be too far away. Of course, knowing my luck, I'll probably miss it or have to wait forever. Apparently FS13 did have a forestry as a mod. It did have forestry as a mod. I didn't really play 13, but I know that 15 was the first one to have it in the base game. Okay, so the train... Oh, there it is. The train is on the way. It's way in the distance. If you're watching this in low resolution, you'll never see that. But yes, the train is coming, and it is on the correct line. So this is going to be interesting. Very quickly say if you think it's going to hit it, or if it's just going to pass through it. I think it's going to pass through it. I think there'll be no collision. But, well, you've got a few seconds to make up your mind. Come on, no collision, pass through. Whoa. It actually does have a collision. Wow. So, if I had put that actually on the line, that could have been just thrown for miles. Shame I can't get it on the line. It's tempting to put it on there. I didn't want to spend the episode doing this, so let's get a telehandler. It's a good opportunity to show off the telehandler. Of course, I can't afford it because I've bought too much stuff, but I can sell some stuff. Sell. Sell. A few things to sell. It's actually very expensive. Right, it's called the Agro Vector. Here it is. Yeah, you'd never see this in FS19. Little Deutz Fahr telehandler. Okay, I've just approached that from the wrong side. Welcome everybody, by the way. Anybody who's just joined, welcome. What I'm currently trying to do is get a tractor to be propelled across the map by a train. So, yeah, nothing normal. Again, physics. I don't know what will happen with the telehandler if I try and pick up a tractor. It may be that it just has the ability to lift any kind of weight, so it might be fine, or it might not be able to pick up much at all. So we'll find out. Why are you playing FS11 and not 13? It is a nostalgia trip back in time. Oh, we can also pick up the traffic as well. You actually can. Let's just wait. Come on, drive over my forks. You knew what I was going to do. Typical traffic. There we go. Oh, it's self-uprighted. Go on then. Come on. Go. Go. Oh, yes. Why isn't the traffic like that anymore? Well, I think we know. Yes, it's because of its rating. So much fun. Next, a tractor. Let's get the tractor on the line as well. Okay. So it doesn't really matter if it's upside down, I suppose, because it's just going to be propelled anyway. Slim Jim. Just little thanks for honest, quality videos. The train has just passed on the wrong side. Hello from a tugboat in Texas. Thank you so much, Slim Jim. It's always interesting to hear where everybody's from. And Hodge as well. Evening Dagger. Thank you, Hodge. Good evening to you as well. Yes, I'm spending my evening putting tractors on a train line in Farming Simulator 11. How interesting. I wonder what's going to happen now. Spark Cycle says, poor tractor. Well, we'll see where we can get it to. This could be quite fun. Oh no. That's pretty good. It's very good. Okay, well that'll do. Because the tractor has just... sorry, because the train has just passed. It's going to be some time, because what it does is it goes into the tunnel, and then I think a few minutes later it spawns again, and comes back on the opposite line. So we need to play the waiting game. It's always a fun game to play. You can see it's all been harvested over there. Gallygoy, I was just going to read out your comment and noticed it was negative. Jordan, tractor seems to be scaled too large. Does it? I guess it... don't know. Maybe the telehandler's too small. Rolling Twin Turbo. Hi, Dagger. Hello, Rolling Twin Turbo. The sky looks good. I've always thought that. I've always thought the sky's good as well. Troy says, wow, don't the trees look better in FS11? They do look good. It's so... Well, actually, like I keep saying, this is Pro Farm. So this was payware. This isn't the default game. I think what I probably should do in a minute is go back to the default map and show everybody what it was actually like. Because this, of course, was done by modders, and it was all very advanced for the time. Thank you so much for that, Jason. Now, in a minute, we should see the train appear. We also have the boats as well. The boats are going round. Here comes the train. It is on the horizon. So, let's get into position. I think we should probably get in a position where we've got a fairly good view of where this thing can actually get to. The telehandler possibly will be hit as well, but I don't think it'll be very impressive. Ford8240 says, Pro Farm really transformed FS11. It did. It was like so good. I suppose it's similar to FS13. Maybe even better, actually. Here we go. Are you ready? hopefully. Well, that's one way of getting a tractor from one side of the track to the other. Thank you. We've succeeded in crossing the train line. Well, there you go. There's a bit of excitement. So, I think it is time to go and check out the default map. This map is just incredible though, and I really should do a proper Let's Play on here to do it justice. I'm obviously just messing around here, showing different things. Apparently the grass looks weird. I think, yeah, it's because it's got the flowers in it. This was back in the time when it was just grass, and now they're trying to add some flowers, so... yeah, maybe just too many flowers, not too sure. Before you finish going to water. Okay. I think it just comes up with the same message it always has done, saying don't drive in water too deep, and then you lose your tractor to the bottom. There you go, and now it can never be retrieved. Resetting tractors. That's a good point. Can you reset them? I don't think you can, you know. I'm pretty sure you couldn't reset tractors. So that would just be it. Lost forever. Yeah, that was all you could do. It's stuck. Gone forever. Ah, dear. Right, before I do change to the default map, does anybody want anything else showing to them? Because this is... well, I actually feel bad now doing this. I probably should have done this as a proper Let's Play. It's detailed enough to be a proper Let's Play. Even though it's old. Yeah, you'd have to sell the tractor and rebuy it if you put it in the bottom of the river. Which actually... isn't convenient, but is more realistic, because it's probably going to be scrap if you send a tractor to the bottom of a lake or a river. Show the cows, that's a good idea. I'll have to buy them first. Oh right, they're £25,000 each. So, there is our cow. That's extortionate. That is 25,000, not 2,500. £25,000 for a cow. Expensive stuff. But at least the game had cows. It was the first animal type to be in the game. And silage. We had silage too. Good night, Daggerwin from Sparkcycle. Good night, Sparkcycle. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your super chats. Greatly appreciated. Look at this crop. I think that is canola. It is. It's quite tall as well, which I think would depend on the variety, but that's very realistic. Very good. I've got to say, I'm very impressed. I really am very impressed by 11. Like I say, it's 11 with Pro Farm, but even so, I'm still very impressed. Now, to move away from this very, very good looking map, we're going to go to the default map. So, I'm going to have to just probably close it down for a second, because I think the screen will go blank when I do this, but it should just be for 1 second. So, I must just say, thank you to Halycon Media, of course, for producing Pro Farm. Very nice addition to it, and it really did change FS11. Anyway, let's go. Okay, so this is the default map. Just here. Good evening, Galcomp Gamer, and also Virtual Farmer, and anybody else who's just joined. So yeah, welcome. Have you always wanted to prove your skills as a farmer? Of course I have. Well, here's your chance. Take over this farm and whip it into shape. And you did start off as well with a decent amount of machinery. Conveyance. With the front loader or telescopic loader, you can place hay or straw bales onto the conveyor belt. Use the telescopic loader to haul round bales directly into the straw barn. The sum you get for each bale depends on the chosen level of difficulty. And this is interesting. This thing, at the time of release of FS11, was an absolute nightmare. I think everybody hated it. Bales were an absolute nightmare, just terrible. It did have it had a little I guess you could call it a little collecting thing at the bottom. They had to get rid of it because that's what was stopping it from working. ECML Transport, here's a donation. Hope you enjoy YouTube. Good day. Thank you so much, ECML Transport. Much appreciated. Hopefully you have a good day as well. Good to hear that you are enjoying the stream. Yeah, so that was actually improved quite a bit, especially with the auto stackers, which I think we did get. I'm pretty sure it might have been a DLC, but I'm pretty sure, or it could have been a mod, that we had some auto stackers, and that was a great improvement. We had the Lizard, which is actually a class. This is supposed to be a class. So that was nice to have in the game. And also we had the New Holland as well, which was also a Lizard, just here. And this was the first field I ever harvested. So many memories. The amount of times I've harvested this field. But this is the real FS11. What you've just seen was the incredible modification to FS11. Kevin, have you ever seen a rat kick a snake in the face? Interesting. No, I haven't. But thank you to you anyway. Murray 4756. Get the biggest, smallest tractors and jump them. How interesting. I don't know if I haven't got the money, to be honest, but yeah. Interesting super chat. Thank you, Murray. Virtual Farmer says, I've not managed to get hold of a copy of FS08 yet. That's a shame. That really is a shame. I've actually still got mine from 2009. I got it in 2009. And if you're happy to listen to a story, I'll tell you one. After Jacob's super chat, just discovered your restoration channel. Love it. Thank you, Jacob. I'm so pleased to hear that you enjoy it. It's going to be expanded on massively very soon. So here's my story. I think we'll take the trailer up to the field whilst I talk. At least you've got something to look at. Yeah, I was playing Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 1. This was... Oh, hang on. Apologies. Apologies, we have some technical difficulties. That is actually stuck. I'm accelerating and we've produced a bridge. I must say I've never actually done that before. And I've played this game for many hours. Anyway, yes, we must get back to story time. I was playing Left 4 Dead 1 in January 2009. I think it was probably around the 2nd of January. It was New Year. And this was when I used to stay up until 1:30 or something playing computer games, and I don't do that anymore. But anyway, once I had finished my game on there, on Left 4 Dead, it was Blood Harvest, the Blood Harvest campaign. I then closed down Left 4 Dead, and I was interested in seeing if there are any kind of farming games, because I've always been interested in farming. Anyway, I searched the internet, and I did come across this game called Farming Simulator 2008, and they had a demo. They had a demo that you could download, and you could play a section of it. It was a very small section. But anyway, I downloaded the demo, and this was probably by about 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. I then played the demo, and there was, I think, one campaign and one mission. The campaign was to harvest a very small field, it was very small, with a Fendt combine harvester. The textures were terrible, and the interior was non-existent. And so I completed that in about 2 minutes, and then I kept doing it over and over again, because I kept using the mission as an opportunity to explore the map, because it was actually the whole map, which was quite interesting. And then I did the mission, which was to use the shield, as it's called, the dozer blade, to move some rocks off the road, or was it some logs or something, not too sure. So I did that about 100 times with the Fendt, 100 times with that, and then eventually, because at the time I had no money at all, I saved up to pay for it. I think it was, I don't know, I actually have no idea, it was probably like £8, £10, which at the time was a lot for me, because I was, how old was I? Let's see here. I must have been around 13. Must have been around 13 years old. So yeah, I literally had a bit of pocket money and that was it, nothing else. So I got it and obviously loved it. And if you ever go back to Farming Simulator 2008, you'll think it's absolutely terrible. And at the time, it was one of the best games I've ever played. And that's weird, because in 2008 there were really good games out, like Oblivion and Morrowind, and they were better, the graphics were better. But because it was one of the first farming games that I remember, there was Sim Farm, but it was the first proper games like this. To me, it just stuck as being such a good game. So there you go, there's my history on when I first played 08. I have turned away about 50 viewers, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, we've unloaded what I'm going to call the New Holland Combine, even though it is a Lizard. It's actually the Lizard Combine Harvester off 2009. They transferred it over, and you started off with it. This one here was new to 2011. The Lizard Sovereign 58 or 56. Sounds like a lawnmower. Virtual Farm says, I was playing way too much Left 4 Dead in 2008. Yes, I've played it a lot too. I saw something else. Oh no, P. Bannick Inc. says, thanks, a lovely story. Yes, I've been wanting to tell that story for some time, as you can probably tell. Snake Doctor, you're nearing 500k subs. Will you be doing a special video stream to commemorate that mark? Been a fan of your channel for years. Yes, I will be doing, hopefully. Although, I'm actually going to probably say that this is part of it. This is part of that celebration, because looking back over the years of FS in general, and yeah, I would like to say that this is how my channel started, but it didn't. I didn't play Farming Simulator on my channel until 2014 for FS15. So yeah, I missed out on so many years really. Virtual Farmer says, my first farm simulation game was Sim Farm. Played that for hours and hours and hours. I know, because when well, I don't know that Virtual Farmer was playing it, but I know that a lot of other people were playing it, because when I first found 08, I found some forums and stuff, and everybody was talking about Sim Farm, and they couldn't believe that this new game had come out. And it was so good. It was so good for what it was, for farming. So yeah, very interesting. I never played. Actually, no, I did. I played it once. I probably played it for 5 minutes. I did play Sim Farm for 5 minutes, and that was it. I think I'm probably, I don't know, I was probably a bit late to the farming genre in that respect, although if you look at it from the Farming Simulator point of view, I was here from the start, pretty much, from January 2009, which was actually before the release of 2009. 08 was the first one, and I still have 2008 and 2009 on a Sim Market disc. They weren't officially released with proper branding. Well, they were officially released with Sim Market, but not with branding. You know, the box art and stuff. Anyway, yeah, I've turned away another 50 viewers, so that's a really, really good way of doing that with the stories. Galcont Gamer's first farm sim was Farming Simulator 2009. It definitely grew. It exploded at that time, because that's when FS UK, or it was actually called LS UK at the time, was first online. And that forum, which also provides mods, was absolutely booming in 2009 and 10. I think it's still fairly popular now, but that's when it all started up. It was the first proper place to get the mods from. Even the official website had very few mods. Hardly anything. You should call this stream Travel Back in Time. Yeah, well, yeah, I could do. I thought the current title sort of summed it up, but I've already been accused of clickbaiting, so there you go. Difty, Daggerwin, don't you think that back then the grain storage was more realistic? You had 4 silos instead of 1. Yes, I do. Yep, I keep saying it. I keep saying how most things have got so much better. Like FS19 is so much better than all the other games, except for a few things. We've already covered the traffic, but as somebody said, that was most likely down to the rating. So it was for all ages, so you couldn't crash into the cars and push them around and stuff. I think we should probably use this combine instead of just sitting here. But yeah, the trees were better apparently in Pro Farm. But there was no forestry, of course, no forestry at all. And, well, trees are few and far between here. There are a few trees, but not many. The mods made the game better, more maps and equipment. You could transform all of the games. Even 08 had some mod maps that were very difficult to install. I've just messed the game up. I've got development mode installed, so that's why that's messed up. Oops. I might have to turn it off because I have seriously broken that. Although before I do, let's just fly. Because you might be interested in seeing the map from above, because I am. I've never actually enabled developer console on here before, ever. So I've never seen this map from above. It's much slower than 19, the way you ascend. But at least you got it. Virtual Farmer says the change in traffic was to save memory. The current traffic requires no AI, while the original does. So that's interesting. So there's another side of the story there, because somebody else said it was about the rating in Germany. It couldn't be rated 0 if it was if you were allowed to push the traffic around. So maybe there are multiple reasons for it. Anyway, these are the cable cars, as you can see, and that was a teleport. I've just teleported. You can teleport from above. There is a viewpoint, and you can actually use these viewpoints as well. It's sort of preset, so you can't come off this whenever you want. You have to wait for it to cycle through. There we go. We have another angle over here. Yeah, the trees look okay. I'm not going to say they're better as such, but they're good. Justine, thank you for that. And there is the yard. You can see us looking down at the yard. And these aren't just some screenshots. These actually are the real area. So if somebody was moving down there in multiplayer, you would see. Virtual Farmer says, I was told that by Giants when I asked if the traffic could be reverted. So that is official then. That is the official reason as to why the traffic is no longer pushed. That combine needs to be unloaded. And the Class 1 probably does as well. Oh, sorry, I just rear-ended it. Yes, I will be posting the stream on YouTube. Probably in a couple of hours it should go out. So if you want to see this later, you can do. Welsh Pony, are you just going to read moderators' comments? No, I'm reading a wide range of different comments here. I get a lot, so I can't read them all. Dylan, thank you so much for that. Justine, from Liam, my son. He loves watching your videos and live streams from New Zealand. That is great to hear. Thank you so much. ECML Transport, you're making me want to play FS19, but I am at my dad's for the weekend, so I can't. Oh dear. Will you be doing multiplayer tomorrow? Possibly. Unlikely though. I wonder what FS 2021 will be like. That's from Stephen. Interesting to know, really. Or interesting to even think about it. I think, if I was to have a guess, it will have the dynamic ground. So you can actually have the, I guess you could call it 3D plowing textures. Although I've been criticised for calling that before because the texture isn't necessarily 3D. But you know what I mean. You know, 3D ground, dynamic ground. Yes, I have brought up a console box here. We're going to have to ignore it. Anyway, the sell point, let's just bring up this PDF. I think it was the area just behind us there. You can see it's Twin Cannons Inn. Jason, have you ever been to or worked on a dairy farm? Keep up the great vids. No, actually I haven't. I've never been to one or worked at one. But thank you, Jason. Here is the prices. You can see the average prices. We can take this is barley over to anywhere. The ports, the brewery or the mill. CHSY Kozak Gaming, thank you to you. The best price is actually at the brewery. So that's going to be, if I remember rightly, nowhere near here. It is beyond the port. It is all the way over here. Well, it's a good opportunity to explore more of the map, so let's go. PVAT316, here is a little something for all the hard work you do for your viewers. Greetings from Oregon. Thank you so much, PVAT316. Much appreciated. I just enjoy doing this. I really do enjoy showing off the game and playing FS19. Sparky20 Simulation and more says I should buy this game. Looks nostalgic. I think you can buy it on Steam. You can indeed, and this actually, I should point out, is not with the 4 DLCs. There are 4 DLCs which you can also get. This is excluding all of them, so I should actually do another stream with the DLCs. I think that'd be a good idea. Now this road here is the mountain road. That leads all the way up the mountain, obviously. All the way over there. This is flat out. It doesn't feel like it. I think it's probably a bit too heavy for the tractor. Also, I'm fairly sure that this map has just been released on Mod Hub for 19. I think it was this map, but I did notice from the screenshots that the scaling looked a bit off. The roads looked incredibly wide, because there was a screenshot with 2 pieces of traffic passing each other, and there was a massive gap between the two, so it's like the world's widest road. But it's still good. It's very nice to have it on the game. It's good for multiplayer too. Right, that's the brewery just over there, as you can see, and just behind the brewery is the, at least I think it is, the map's smallest field. Although maybe it's not, actually. How much money do we have? We only have £11,000, so we can't buy any other tractors, but I have already shown off quite a few at the beginning of the stream. Anyway, we are going to start to wrap a few things up in a minute because I am going to be closing the stream, but I really do hope that you've enjoyed this. We'll just go back over to the combine. Okay, you don't press I to unload, you press Q. It's all different. Oh, look at that. Now that's definitely been improved. That's terrible. That's very bad. And yes, in 2008, Farming Simulator 2008, it was a fixed camera. So when you were unloading, you had to have a fixed camera. It was about this angle. You couldn't move it. You couldn't look around when it was unloading. Yeah, this is the field just back here. It's not too small, but yeah. There is a waterfall. There is also a train, which I might go and take a look at actually. There is a boat. It's a good map. It really is good. Compared to other games at the time, it was bad. But for Farming Simulator, it was still the best game out. That's very blue. Very, very blue. There's a boat which we could possibly jump onto. I wonder, actually, if multiplayer is still active in 17. Sorry, in 11 and 17. Yeah, 17 must still be going. In 11. Because you can host your own. There were no dedicated servers anyway. There's the train. And yes, you can collect bottles. Here is a bottle, in fact. This is what you would do to... well, you have to pick up 100. Put them in a bottle bank. And then if you collected 100... I think there was a reward. Wasn't there? I don't know. I forget. It's been so many years. There's a train. There's a waterfall just behind there. There's the waterfall. Looks good. Although, yes, you're not supposed to be able to see behind it. I'm in developer here. Yeah, so that is basically it. And it still looks good to me. I like it. Yes, it was the first Farming Simulator with animals just here. Cows only, but this was where the cows were. I'm just going to very quickly go to main menu. It might go blank. Oh, it didn't. Interesting. Multiplayer. It went blank. Okay, bear with me. Come back! Come back! There it is. There is nothing. Oh, there was one. There is one. There is a server open. So we probably can... do multiplayer if we wanted to. The first farming simulator with multiplayer. Don't know if the sound went off then, it might have done because it all minimised, but anyway. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And of course, thank you to everybody who has left a super chat. Massively appreciated. And until next time, see you again very soon. Bye for now.